Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna crawl through all the cities in Poland within this autodump.pl site in order to scrape data from every single property listing, which is not obviously the topic of this tutorial, but still, you see, like, this URL is quite pretty complicated, and it involves some string core parameters like region ID, sub-region ID, city, and so on, and so it's quite pretty complicated, and you might wonder where exactly this data is taken from. Well, I'll tell you where it comes from. Basically, it comes from this sort of a API call which uses the get method, and this is the specific URL we're actually using here. So if we just preview the response, we see like we're getting this textual value, the name, radius, region ID, and all this stuff. And also there might be many locations for one city. Like here we have the list, the range of locations, and they all are available right over in here. So our goal actually is simply try to scrape this data, parse it to JSON format, and write to the output file. So this is the exact topic of this tutorial, and we're gonna be writing the only single line of Python code within the SCRAPY Shell in order to achieve this goal, believe it or not. So here is my setup. I got the cities.txt in my current working directory, and here I would like just to open the terminal and invoke the SCRAPY Shell. Okay, so here we would be making our request to this sort of an API. But first we actually need to load our cities to feed them as the data parameter. So let me just show you this one more time. So here's here. So we got this data parameter that would be different within the entire loop. So first we need to open our cities.txt file. I want to read the file stream, and I want to read the entire stuff here. Okay, so the next thing to consider would be to split this by the new line and get rid of the very last empty element, which is not essential. So from the first, and slice the very last element. So from now on we can actually loop over this sort of a cities, and let me just see. So the data starts from the capital, which seems to be just pretty fine. So if I just make use of the list comprehension here, and if I would like to say for city in this, like so, well, first let's actually try to print our city to make sure we got them right. Okay, so now the city would be passed to the fetch method within the string query parameters. But obviously, as far as we're just debugging this stuff, it's not yet kind of ready. Just for now on, I want to limit the number of this list. So let's say let's take the only element here. Okay, so sorry guys, I should have probably say to let's take a couple of elements. Yeah, this, like so. Otherwise this city name is this type of string, so we'll loop over the letters within the name rather than the elements. So this would be just fine basically. And okay, I'm just wondering, can I so yeah, this would be the same. Okay, so let's keep it up, keep it like this basically. So right over in here we need to make use of both the response object that we would be working with, so response.text, and also we need this fetch method, and here I need to grab the entire URL. So let me just try to grab this URL and copy and paste, and now I just need to go here within the data. So I split the string here and plus city. This would be it basically. So now it should make exactly 2 requests, and yeah, it does seem to extract the JSON data as well here. Didn't yet print anything, but it doesn't really matter that much. So we would make use of printing the data just just quite pretty soon basically. So okay, so here response.text. So the very first thing we would like to do with this, I need to say JSON.loads, so to parse this response, this like, and also well, let's try it. Okay, it doesn't have JSON, so let's add JSON. So import JSON this like. Okay, now it did parse what we need here, and also I want to print this, so let's say print. Okay, and now JSON dot dumps, and this JSON loads is the first argument, indentation equals to 2 spaces. Okay, so now we did print our data for all the available locations, and from now on we can actually write this print response to the target JSON file. So in order to do this, just instead of printing this stuff, we can say okay, I would probably also need to add the new line at the very end. Okay, so let's say open dot write. Okay, and we want let's call this locations.json. I guess this would be JSON line format, right? Okay, and if I just go this like way, it won't print the new lines. Let me just quickly show you this. Okay, no such file directory. I'm sorry, so I need to specify that I actually want to append to the file stream. Okay, and let's go to our target, to our current working directory. Okay, so here we got our first element. Okay, so this seems to be just pretty nice. Yeah, and the second one, you see, like I have no idea actually why is this empty, but we don't have this new line here, which is a bit weird. So let's actually try to add that new line. Indentation equals to 2 spaces, so here plus the new line. Okay, so it did append, but still, let's have a look. Yeah, so he started right over in here, and yeah, so he did append this kind of new line, and we can actually split this data later on by the closing square bracket followed by the new line. So that's the way how to distinguish this sort of stuff. Okay, and we could have also loop or we could have loop over the elements as well. So I'm just wondering, maybe that would be the better idea actually. So, or maybe not. So I would probably just store the data as is, and later on we would be able to process this. Okay, so let me now just try to specify the range for all the cities available, and now it would take some time basically. So I just want to get rid of my locations JSON, and let's try to run this code again. So now it crawls through all the cities, and I really hope that here within the location.json it actually starts printing the data. So it doesn't contain the data for some sort of cities, but that's not a big deal basically. So it's not a big deal really, but it does print all the needed information for those locations that he can actually find, and this is really nice. Okay, so yeah, I just want to wait until the very until this ends basically. So how many cities do I have here? So I have 320 cities, so that's the number of requests that should be done here, and assuming that by default SCRAPY is going with 8 concurrent requests with no download delay, well, this should have end up quite pretty fast basically. And later on, like as I've already been mentioning, I would be able to, so the file is updating by the way, so I would be able to make use of this sort of a data to create the URLs to crawl through all the autodom.pl site and to extract the real estate property listings from there. So just want to wait until we're done basically. Yeah, and seems like we are done already. Okay, so reload. Okay, so it seems like we're done. So how many entries overall? Okay, it's pretty impressive. Well guys, this is it for this tutorial. I hope you learned something interesting out of it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, and take care.